Yeah, hi guys, welcome to Ever Mentor YouTube channel. So I hope my audio and video both these two are fine, right? Okay. So in the yesterday session, we discussed about the teaching aptitude part one. So that is completely related to the teaching part. So what are the aims and objectives and characteristics of the teaching, and what are the different levels of teaching, right? So these are the topics what we discussed. And today is the part two in the teaching aptitude. That is, we're going to discuss about the topic called as learner characteristics, right? So join the session quickly. And in this meanwhile, share this link in your respective groups so that others also may come to know that the online live class is going to happen on the teaching aptitude. Okay, fine. So good afternoon to all of you guys. And so coming to the teaching aptitude, that is in the first unit. So these are all the total 5 topics are there as per our UGC NET syllabus point of view. Okay. And out of the 6 topics, the first topic already we discussed in the yesterday session. So if anybody missed the yesterday session, then please go through the video, guys. Okay. So that is there in the YouTube channel itself. Fine. And today we are going to discuss about the second part, that is learner characteristics. Okay, fine. Hari Singh, is my voice is very slow, so please let me know whether the audio and video both these two are fine or not. Okay, yeah. So I hope that all of you gone through the, most of you gone through the yesterday session. Okay, so let's start the second topic, that is the learner's characteristics. So as per our UGC syllabus point of view, just these 2 topics are mentioned in the part of learner characteristics, like what are the individual differences and what about the characteristics of adolescent learners as well as adult learners. But while coming to the previous, previous examination or else the UGC NET examination point of view, I splitted this learner characteristics into multiple subtopics. That is total 8 different subtopics. Okay, it is a little bit a lengthier topic comparing with the yesterday one. Fine. So all of you focus until completion of this all the 8 different subtopics under the learner characteristics. Okay, fine. So while coming to the concept of learning, that means in the yesterday session we discussed about like what are the different points has to be maintained and what are the different types, sorry, like characteristics and objectives and aims of the teaching. And today we are going to discuss about the learning side as well as the learner side, means student point of view. Okay, fine. So coming to the concept of learning, the concept of learning or else the aim or main objective of the teaching, as we already discussed in the yesterday session, that bringing the change in the student behavior or else some human behavior. That is the main motto of the learning or else the teaching. But because if we once learn something about any one concept, then automatically our behavior towards that concept will be definitely changes and our skill also will be improved. And this learning will influences the acquisition, means acquiring, obtaining the information, our attitudes and our beliefs, goals, achievements, failures and behavior. So everything it will be influenced. That means whatever the concepts means. See guys, coming to the this first unit point of view, if it is a learning means, please don't take that academic type of learning for the examinations, okay, learning the subject, not only like that. Whatever the things you are learning from your own experience in your life, okay, what are the things you learned from your past situations, from your friends, okay, from famous personalities, all these things comes under the learning, correct? Not only the academic learning, but the things you learn from your experiences, from your friends, from your colleagues, from your neighbors, everything also comes under the learning. Okay, so if you learn something means definitely your behavior will be changes, and definitely the learning will influence your attitudes, your beliefs, your goals, achievements, and everything will be influences, right? Next, so in the previous session, while coming to the definitions of the teaching, we saw the different experts gave the different definitions for the teaching. In the same way, here also I kept two slides regarding the expert definitions of this learning and all. Okay. So while coming to the first, he got learning is the process by which an activity or originates changes through the training procedure. Yes, of course. Nowadays, in the UGC NET examination, we are not getting this type of definitions of the teaching and definitions of the learning. Okay, but just have a look here. And as per the Bernard point of view, learning is a process by which an organism satisfying the motivations and adapts or adjusts to the situation. That means if you are learning something means you will try to adopt or adjust to the present existing situation, so that we can able to overcome the obstacles or the barriers. Okay, and while coming to the McGoch, learning as we measure it is a change in the performance as a function of the practice. Means our performance will be changes if you are keep on practicing. So if you practice more, then our performance will be fine. And while coming to the Walker, learning as a relative permanent change in the performance that occurs as a result of experience. Okay, so whatever the definition is there, it is the very important. Learning has to bring the permanent change in the performance of the candidate. Okay, and whatever the permanent change is there, that happens due to the experience. That means first you will practice. After practicing any one concept or something, then you will try to apply. After applying, you will get some experiences. After experience, then that then the permanent change will happens in your performance wise, or as well as in the behavior point of view. Okay, next, coming to the elements of learning. So if the learning has to be happen, what are the main elements must be there? First of all, the learner must be there. Okay, learner means as per the academic point of view, we will call as a student, right? So the learner must be there. And stimulus, what is the meaning of stimulus is that, for example, if you are a learner, right? So we are preparing for the UGC NET examination. That means we are the learner, which we are going to learn the concepts of the paper 1 as well as the paper 2. Okay, that is called as a learner. And while coming to the stimulus, means what is the meaning of stimulus? Something driving force. Okay, the driving force which makes you alert, which makes you travel towards the cracking of the UGC NET JRF. So what is this driving force? Means all of you might be having some kind of driving force, like I must crack the JRF and I have to get the scholarship and funding, something, etc. Right? So the driving force. Okay. And coming to the internal conditions of the learner. Internal conditions of the learner means different types must be there, like some kind of perception. Cognitive means intellectual point of view. The self concept you are having, your attitudes, and what are your needs, what are your motives, okay, and what is your intelligence, what is the previous learning. All these things will come under the internal condition of the learner. Previous learning means, for example, if you want to understand the 10th class mathematics very well, then you must have the knowledge of the 9th class, 8th class, and 7th class, 6th class mathematics, right? So these are all come, that means whatever the knowledge regarding the previous classes mathematics, that is called as a previous learning, and as per the technical point of view, we will call as a prerequisites. Understand? Prerequisites. Okay, so this all comes under the internal conditions of the learner. And while coming to the next one is the response, means any action or reaction to a learning situation. Response means generally if you learned some 3 to 4 months, then finally we will start giving the response in the examination, right? So these are all the 4 different types of elements, elements of the learning process. Understand? The learner must be there, means student, and stimulus means excitation point or the motivational situations or the activities which makes you travel towards your goal. And the internal conditions means your intellectuality, your personal situations, okay, your needs and your motives and your prerequisites. Response means responding to the questions coming in the examination, right? Next, why this slide, why I kept, because in the examination whatever the block letters are there here, okay, so these are the definitions. Means sometimes they will give the in the options they will give the reception, expectancy, okay, selective perception. So there is some meaning to these words, so you should know what is the meaning of these words. But because in the UGC NET exam continuously they are using these words, that's why I kept this slide, what exactly these words mean in our general language. Okay, so reception is nothing but a gaining the attention. Okay, that means to improve the reception of the student. Are you understanding? If they ask that the question to improve the reception of the student, what the teacher has to do? What is the meaning of reception? To improve the gaining the attention of the student. Okay, like that you have to understand. Fine. And coming to the next one is the expectancy. What is the meaning of expectancy here? Informing the learners of the objective, what they will be able to do after learning. Means generally, if you see the current syllabus of graduation or the post graduation, in the starting of the syllabus itself, they will mention the objectives. What is the meaning of objective? Means they will mention like after reading this chapter, you will come to know so and so. After doing this practical, you can able to do so and so. These are the objectives. That means what is the meaning of objective is that if you go through this degree, then you will come to know so and so concepts. That is the meaning of objective. That means here that is called as a expectancy. Means what we can expect after reading this concept. Okay, that is called as a, that we should inform to the learners, we should inform to the students. Okay, if you learn this topic, means you will come to know about the what are the different methods of teaching are there, what is the definition of the teaching, what is the aim of the teaching, what is the learner characteristics, that something we will inform. Next, retrieval to working memory means stimulating the recalling of the prior knowledge, right? So means if you sit in the exam, if you sit in the exam, it is very very mandatory that we should recall our previous knowledge. That means whatever the concepts you read until the 4 months or 3 months before the examination, you have to recall them properly. Then only you can able to attempt the question very nicely, right? So retrieval to the working memory means you have to recall or retrieve the whatever the concepts you studied. Next, selective perception means displaying the contents with distinct features. So what is the meaning of this selective perception is that, say yes, if any some one topic is there, in that topic some different subcontents are there. So first subcontent and second subcontent, third one and fourth one. What are the different features of the each and every content you have to display? Understand? That means, for example, what are the features of this first content? What are the features of the second content? Okay, you have to display. Next, semantic encoding means learning guidance. Okay, learning guidance. What is the meaning of learning guidance? Means generally few of the experts will give you the guidance like if you go through these and these and these topics, then definitely you will get so many marks. Okay, and if you are feeling any some topic as very difficulty, then you refer so and so book. Okay, or else you can study this topic like this also. Means something related to the providing the guidance to the learners to make them understand in a simplest way. And responding, so what is the meaning of responding is that asking learners to perform. That means if the class is going on, if the teacher asks a question, then the students has to respond. Okay, then only the teacher will get the acknowledgement from the student whether he or she is understanding or not. Next one is a reinforcement. So responding or reinforcement, both these two are almost the same. In the responding, we teachers ask the learners to perform. Okay, but while coming to the reinforcement means providing the feedback to the learners. Okay, we have to provide feedback to the learners. What is the feedback to the learners means? If a student asks you a question, okay, if the student asks a question to the teacher, then teacher has to provide the proper reply to that question. It is called as providing feedback to the learner. Understand? So did you understand the difference? Responding means teacher will ask the student to perform so and so question or something else. Reinforcement means providing the feedback to the learners, means here the teacher will provide some kind of answer to the learner. Next, retrieval and reinforcement. Retention means keeping in our mind for a long time. If you studied a concept, and if that concept has to be stored in our memory for a long time, then you have to practice different types of problems, different types of MCQs on that topic. That is called as a generalization. Okay. So all of you clear, guys? So all of you clear about these definitions and all? Hi Annu, good evening. So shall we go to the next slide? Okay. Fine. And next, any good definition of learning should have the three elements. Means good definition of learning. What are the three elements must be there? While coming to the first element, we keep on discussing from the yesterday onwards that learning is nothing but a change in the behavior. Understand? Learning is nothing but a changing in the behavior. And this change has to take place through experience or practice. Changes due to growth, maturation, and inquiry cannot be considered as a learning. Now, carefully understand, some changes occurred in our behavior due to my age. Okay, means all of we are not going to talk when we are at the age of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and 50 years. The way of speaking with others, the way of behaving with others, right, will be different. So whatever the maturity we are getting from age to age, that is not comes under the learning. Okay, learning is nothing but whatever the things you are getting through the experience or practicing, that is only to be called as a learning. Why I'm stressing this point? Because 3 to 4 times we got this point in the previous UGC NET exam. Okay, so whatever the things you are getting, whatever the changes in the behavior of a candidate happened due to experience or practice, it is to be called as a learning. But whatever the changes are happening due to growth, okay, for example, when we are growing up, okay, our body height will increase, our body structure will change. Am I correct or not? Our height will change, our weight will change, our body structure will change. All these changes doesn't comes under the learning. Okay. Whatever the intellectuality is changing through our experience or the practicing, that is only to be called as a learning. Fine. Next, the occurred change must be permanent. The learned response must last for a fairly long time. Whatever the changes happened due to the learning process, the changes must be stay for a relatively long period or else our lifelong. Okay, it is called as a lifelong learning process. Got it? Next, so what are the characteristics of the learning? So I think you can understand here. So please have a look at all these 3 points. Now you can understand yourself. Learning is modification of behavior. So many times I repeated already. And learning is purposive. What is the meaning of purposive? For one purpose, we are learning, and it is a continuous process. Learning takes place not only in the human beings, learning takes place in all other living species, right? And it is a until our death, we keep on learning something. Yesterday, we learned something. Today, we learned something. Whatever the things we learned from yesterday and today, we are going to apply that one in the tomorrow for the betterment purpose, right? It is a continuous process, and it is a universal phenomena. Universal phenomena means it is learning is not only applicable to ours, it is applicable to everybody, and it is a progressive and developmental. Means when we call that you are learning something means whenever you are progressive. Like today you learned some topic and you practiced some MCQs, you got 5 out of 10. So tomorrow you will study few more concepts regarding the topic and then you will take some MCQ. You will get 8 out of 10. Means progressive, some development. It is transferable. Transferable means whatever the see. If I'm dealing with teaching and research aptitude means once upon a time I was also a learner. Means basic learner. Now also I am a learner. I have to learn and teach, right? So learning is transferable means from one person to another person. So might be after 6 to 7 months you will transfer this teaching and research aptitude knowledge to your succeeding fellows, right? So it is a transferable process. Next, so learner's characteristics depends upon the personal point of view, academic point of view, social and emotional point of view, and the cognitive point of view. What these things are. See, while coming to the learner's characteristics with respect to personal, what is this one? Means age, gender, age of the learner, gender of the learner, maturation of the learner, the language known to the learner, social, economic, cultural background of the learner, okay, particular skills and disabilities. All these things comes under the personal learner characteristics. Understood? All these things comes under the personal learner characteristics, right? And while coming to the academic characteristics, what are the academic characteristics? Means what is the prior knowledge of the learner? Means what are the means if you go to the 10th class, then they will ask how many marks you got in the 9th class, something like that, prior knowledge. And which educational type, what is the educational level? Educational type means, in a simple example, we can tell like state syllabus or international syllabus, okay, which type of education or which type of level it is. It comes under the academic type of learner characteristics. Social and emotional learner type of characteristics means, so like sociability. Sociability means how good you are mingling with your neighbors or the friends. What is your self image? Means how you are looking about yourself. Okay, what about your feelings? What is your self efficiency and mode, etc., etc. Means how you are emotionally and socially connected to the society, or else to your friends, to your neighbors, and how you are looking yourself. All this comes under the social and emotional characteristics. Cognitive characteristics is nothing but a simply intellectual skills. Okay, what is your problem solving capability? How fast you can grasp the concept? Okay, how fast you can retrieve the concept? How fast you can understanding the concepts? All these things comes under the cognitive type of characteristics. Okay, so these are the 4 different types of simple learner characteristics. Of course, few more characteristics also we are going to see here. But before going to the few more, all of you understood about these 4 different types. Okay. For example, if I ask you like what we call a 28 years fellow, okay, a 28 years fellow got gold medal in so and so subject from the so and so university. Are you understanding? A 28 years fellow got gold medal from so and so subject and from so and so university. Okay, let's take GM, gold medal. Now I mean, from this one, which type of learner characteristics are present? In this sentence, what are the different learner characteristics are present? Let's take it is A, and it is B, and it is C, and it is D. Okay, so A, B, C, D. So now 28 years fellow, and he got the gold medal. So what are the different learner characteristics here? A, B, C, D, or else A, B, B, C, C, D. Okay, so can you anybody please answer me? If I give the options like option A, and option B, okay, and option C. Option C is A as well as a B. Okay, and while coming to the option D is D only. So now how many characteristics are included here? Yeah, exactly. So here the two characteristics are included. One is I defined about the age of the fellow, as well as I defined about the academic performance of the fellow. Age as well as academic performance, right? So both these two I mentioned in this sentence. So here both A and B will comes under as a correct option. Understood? Okay. Next, few more learners characteristics here. So on the basis of personal and the social attributes, this point already we covered, right? Personal means we covered the different points, right? So from, I mean, what is the age, from which place that person is coming. Social means how good the person is mingling with others. Okay. Next, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the few more learner characteristics that we are going to see. Anu, why the academic comes also means here we are defining that he got the gold medal, means he performed well. Okay, he performed well in the so and so degree from so and so university. So we are mentioning the achievement from which degree, from which university, right? Okay. Next, so this first point, I think all of you guys already cleared. And while coming to the second point, that is field independent versus field dependent. What is the meaning of this one? So the personal and social attributes means the first one. If you connect with these points in the options of the question, you opt the personal and social attributes: age and maturity, motivation and attitude towards the subject, expectations and vocational aspirations, special talents, mechanical dexterity. Mechanical dexterity means the movement. Okay, movement means if you want to play the football, okay, volleyball, cricket, the mechanical dexterity must be very good. And even though if you're writing also, the mechanical dexterity must be very good. Okay, so if you're encountering these points, okay, in your examination, and all these points connects to personal and social attributes. Okay, fine. Next, what is a field independent and field dependent learner characteristics? So first I will give you one small idea, then you just read these sentences. Some of the learners will least depend upon the teacher, means they can read themselves by reading the textbooks. Am I correct or not? Yes, sir. And some of the learners, they can't able to understand the concept from the textbook directly, so that they will mostly depends upon the teacher. Getting, they will mostly depends upon the teacher. So whoever the candidate learning by himself or herself comes under the field independent learner. Independent, not depending upon the others. In field dependent means the person or the learner is depending upon the friends or teachers to make the concept understand. Okay, that is the difference between both these two. But in the field dependent learner, can able to maintain the very good interpersonal relationships with the friends as well as the teachers. But because that learner is discussing or asking to his or her friends or else to the teachers, in this manner, the relationship will be built up. In the independent learners, the learner will sit and simply read himself or herself. So there is no maintaining of the interpersonal relationships here. There is no exchanging of the information here. Got it? That is the difference between both these two. So have a look at both these two sentences. Then I will go to the next slide. Yeah, no. But not much. So we are like in between the independent and dependent, right? Okay, next. So while coming to the field independent, self-structured, self-defined, self. Okay, in classroom activities such as extensive reading and writing, which learners can carry out alone. And while coming to the dependent, so better interpersonal relationships, they pursue globally, they prefer to work together. Okay, next. One more learner characteristics, that is the reflective and impulsivity. So before going to the these sentences, I will give just one small understandable way. If a teacher asks a question to a student, then let's take the two students. One student is responding to that question before finishing the question. Okay. Before finishing the question, the student is immediately responding to give the answer. Second student is after completion of the question, he takes some time. After some time, he will give the answer. Okay. So in both these two cases, whoever the student is answering the question before completion of the question is called as a impulsivity. And whoever the student answering to the question after completion of the question and it takes some time and then answer, it comes under the reflectivity. These are the differences. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages here? Is that in the case of impulsivity style of learning, okay, the learner will collect the less data because the question is not yet completed. Even though it is completed, you did not analyze that question, you did not collected the data present in that question. So if you give the immediate answer, then it will be the less systematic. Okay, less systematic, and they don't look for the alternative solutions. Okay, for each and every question, it might be some 4 to 5 solutions might be there. Out of the 4 to 5, we have to give one perfect optimized answer. But in the case of reflective learner, understanding the question, collecting the data, whatever is there in the question, and then going to the different alternative solutions and then answering, okay, analyzing the data. So that is it is the one of the learner's characteristics. Okay, I hope that you guys understood. Next, what are the different classroom based learning styles? So it is also classroom based learning styles also. So up to now we covered the 1, 2, and 3. And while coming to the next one is the classroom based learning styles. So what are these things? In the classroom, few are the visual learners, few are the auditory learners, and few are the motor learners. What is the difference? This thing actually, by looking at the side headings itself, you guys can understand, right? Visual learners means, what is the meaning of visual learner? If we watch a video, some students can understand. By listening, some students can understand. By doing, some students will understand. Right? Whoever the candidates are understanding the concepts from visuals, some video playing, some slides playing, something is called as a visual learner. Okay. Like the learn easily and better through sight. Sight means looking. So brightness, size, color, distance, clarity, frame, symmetry are most important in the case of visual learners. And visual learners must see so that they may learn easily. And visual learners may be categorized as a verbalist. They see the words and the letters, or imagist means images. They see the pictures. Right? So now, if you guys are watching this video, okay, means you guys are comes under the visual learners. Okay, why? Because you are looking the words, you are looking the data kept in the slides, and you are looking the pictures kept in the slides, right? As well as the auditory learners also. Okay, but in the case of auditory learners, what's happening here? Through the sound means ear gate, like how the sound means the pitch, volume, tempo, rhythm, resonance. Okay, if I'm screaming like a politician in the public party, okay, then can you able to show the focus? No, right? So in the case of auditory, the volume must be very, very clear. So volume clear means the different aspects are exist in the volume, like pitch, means sound in the pitch, volume, tempo, and all these things. Okay, and motor learners means by doing the activities they will learn. So sports, if you want to learn the sports, we can't simply sit in the classroom and listening the class, won't work out. So sports means the motor learning must be there, like various aspects of actions like frequency, duration, intensity, pressure, etc. are most important of them. Motor learners may be called as a kinesthetic. They learn through the use of gross motor muscles. Understand? So writing is also called as a motor learning. Am I correct or not? Okay, writing is the finest motor learning. Why? Because small movement of the finger muscles must be there. It is the finest motor movement that we are doing in the learning, entire learning activity. Are you understanding? So I hope that you got the differences between the kinesthetic, verbalist, and oral. Okay, all of you got the point? So now in the learner characteristics, we covered the classroom based learning characteristics. Now we will see the learner characteristics based upon the listening skills. Okay, what are the different types of listenings are there? Yeah, active listening means you are listening to somebody for a purpose. Okay, for a purpose. Empathetic type of listening means it is one type of active listening. You are trying to understand the other person. If you're trying to understand the other person, then it comes under the empathetic type of listening. Evaluative type of listening means you are trying to evaluate the other person. Okay, for example, if you are going as a student, if you are going for the Viva voice, the external examiner will ask the questions to you, and we will start responding to the questions. Then in this situation, the listening of the external examiner is the evaluative listening. Means that evaluator or external examiner wants to find out the accuracy of your answer, meaningfulness of your answer. Based upon that one, your performance will be evaluated. Okay, that is called as evaluative type of listening, or else a critical type of listening. Appreciative type of listening is that listening for enjoyment. Okay, like relaxing. That means if you are listening some very good melodious music, it is called as an appreciative type of listening, right? Next, learner characteristics on the basis of thinking styles. So now we are in the learner characteristic listening skills done. The last learner's characteristics, that is based upon the thinking styles. Reflective thinkers. Okay, that means if you go to a classroom, in your classroom, if 100 number of students are there, few students might be reflective thinkers, few students might be creative thinkers, few are the practical thinkers, few are the conceptual thinkers. Okay, so reflective type of thinkers means they will always ask why. If you tell something, the solar system is having like this 9 number of planets, they will ask why. Okay, we can't answer to all the why questions, right? Right. So the green leaves are sorry, the tree leaves are in green. Why? We'll tell that some photosynthesis process. Why photosynthesis? Okay, fine. So examine their feelings about what they are learning. So something they will always view the new information with respect to subject. Next, creative thinkers. Okay, so they like to play with the new information. They will also ask why. They will create their own solutions. Okay, they will ask why themselves, and they will create their own solutions. Okay, it is called as a creative thinkers. Practical thinkers means they always look for the realistic information. Okay, that means if a teacher is telling something that they don't believe, if they read something they don't believe, if they do practically they will believe. Okay, it is called as a practical thinkers. Conceptual thinkers means they will accept the new information only after seeing a big picture. Okay, only after seeing a big picture. That means before corona, we don't know that even very small virus can affect the entire economical situation and the human health situation of the entire world. Nobody will accept. But once after corona, I mean after a big picture, now we have to accept that information that nuclear war is very nothing comparing with the biological war. Correct or no? So conceptual type of thinking means we don't believe. The people generally don't believe, don't accept the new information until and unless they see a very big picture. Okay, and they want to know how things are working, not only the final outcome, how the things are working. They want to know like that. So it is called as a playway also motor type of learning system, right? Next, what are the different types of learning? Now, up to now, we saw the different learner characteristics. Now, we are going to see what are the different types of learning sort. So, with this topic, we will end up. Okay, fine. So, coming to the types of learning. Okay, by this, I'm closing this session, guys, because the types of learning and adolescents and adult learners. Okay, and a few of the questions are also there. I kept few of the questions also. All these things we will see in the Monday session. Okay, Sunday is all day, right? So we will see on the Monday. Okay, so if you guys not yet gone through the yesterday video, then go through the yesterday video, and except Sunday, every day this class are going on. So share this videos or else this information to your friends who are preparing for the UGC December 2023 cycle. So it will be very much beneficial. Okay, and it's completely free of cost only. Okay, guys. And whatever the slides I am using after completion of the first unit, I will provide this slides in the Google form. Okay, Google Drive. I will put in the Google Drive and I will provide the link if possible. Okay, thank you to all of you guys. Thank you, Roshna and Anu and Hari Singh. Thank you to all of you. Bye, guys. We'll meet on Monday. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, sure. So every day, I mean, except Sunday, every day evening, in between 4 to 5. Okay, in between 4 to 5, the class will take place. Okay, except Sunday, in between 4 to 5. Yeah, bye.